Niggas ain't gon' shoot for real. Ndajishughulikia. Kama na bonga mavi ni juu ya shit nimesikia. Wale wandani kama kwari wanakuaribia. You need a real one. Akikwama bado anakuaminia. Bado anakuamilia. Mbogi ni leo na kesho ni ghost. Dem wakando wako ma feelings anadai kesho ni post.
Hey.
What's up, everyone? How you doing? It's your boy Steph Kapela. Welcome to another episode of True Sessions with Kwambox. Yeah.
Oh, so you're just going to take over my show like that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another beautiful episode of True Sessions. I'm your host, Kwambox. And of course, today we're hanging out with the guy who just decided to introduce himself, Steph Kapela. Now you know you can't call yourself Steph the rapper.
No, I can't. Not anymore. Yeah.
You should have jumped on that name, Apema.
I was there. I was the first one there, but you know they say ladies first.
Ladies first.
Yeah, you just have
and
to let it go.
And both of you are fire. So what was that? What was your plan for 2020?
Well, I dropped an album. Mm-hmm. So the whole program was shoot videos. We had not gotten yet, but we had talks and we had funding that was coming in. So we had big plans for 2020. I was gonna release a double album. Like I was gonna be jam.
Yeah.
You know, like I was ready to do something like that was gonna shake up the industry. And then around April, that's when like everyone was like panicking and all the corporates were pulling out and everyone was like, yo, look, right now we're dealing with marketing. We're dealing with distribution. We're not dealing with marketing. So we lost quite a few opportunities, but also we learned a lot. Yeah. Like I think as artists we figured out that okay, kitu si ya kutegemea peke yake, you know. And as much as I was one of those guys before 2020, I used to be one of those guys like if you ask me like what do I do? Yeah, I do music.
Yeah.
I do music. Music is what I do.
Yeah.
And that's all good and that's all cool, but if something like this happens, then it's like, oh yo, you mean this thing can be snatched away completely. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And so you know, we'll come back to the album. Right. Let's go back just a bit to where we first met each other. So for those of you who don't know, I've spoken about it, industry night, and that's where I met Steph. And Steph I think you were like just back from the States. Let's talk about the States. How long were you there for? And did you grow up there?
I was there for a cool 8, close to 9 years. Went there straight after high school. Went to learn, lived a completely full life. I went to school, had a kid, I mean, like, did music. So much happened.
Yeah.
But like back in 2015, it was just like things were not going as well as I wanted them to go over there. So I decided to, you know, it's probably time to see what options I have at home.
Yeah.
So when I came back and, you know, just trying to settle in, here comes this lady called Kwambox. She has this show called Industry Night. You can go and perform and there's celebs and there's stars there and you'll meet, you'll network, whatever. So, yeah, I learned quite a few lessons from you those days. I remember I did Industry Night twice.
Yeah.
So the first time was a learning lesson. It was just a learning lesson. The second time I was ready.
Yeah. And FYI, if you ever want to perform on my stage, for sure, just know I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But this you were different. You came, you could sing. In fact, initially you were a singer.
Yeah.
Fun fact, this guy was like, mi nilisikia rap yake siku moja nikasema Steph Kapela, moja, ama uni mwingine. So, you know, you were singing, you were sounding good, but like at that time, you had management. You had a whole different direction that there was a whole plan and there was a different direction you were going in. Let's talk about management before we talk about your new album. Not to get into details, if you don't want to, but you had a team, you were working, and then all those projects that you were working on were pulled off the internet, or you know, even your social media accounts. Yeah. What was that about?
I think it's kind of weird when you're dealing with labels and stuff, because there's so many things you sign like in the beginning and you don't even know what you're signing away.
Yeah.
And honestly, for me, it was just it was a learning experience. It was a learning experience. I came back from the States. I got into like a nice situation almost immediately.
Yeah.
Like almost immediately, like 6 months down the road, I already had met the guy. We had already sat down, had a conversation, and by 2017, we were putting pen to paper. So, you know, just like every other like person who cries label, there's always issues, whether it's money, whether it's creative control, whether it's whatever it is. There's always issues there's always some wrangling between the artist and the label. And it was just a learning curve. It was just something for me to go like, okay, so the game is played like this. Okay, so you need to move like this, you need to move like that. But apart from that, like I wish the dude the best. Like I'm doing my thing. So
right. So now you've picked yourself up. You're like, you know what? I'm done talking. I've got a new studio.
Yeah.
You know, what were you gonna do different?
I don't know if my plan was to do anything different, because I think even Ivan just liked the music that we were making. So he wanted to keep going in the same direction. The only difference with Ivan is I was able to experiment a whole lot more. I had way more creative control. I had, like Ivan's never told me like, yo, write to this, don't write to that. Never. Let me just say, like, they set me on the right path. I owe a lot to that.
TPF ilikuwa is that the one that had Kina Kaz?
Kina Ian, Kaz no. No, it was Ian.
No, that was Project Fame.
See, that's Project Fame, but TPF is Project Fame.
No.
Tasker Project Fame.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly why, yeah.
Oh, no, not sure.
No, there's another show. There's another show. There was another singing show that was continental as well, not Idols.
Coca-Cola.
No, not Popstars. Actually, I was in Popstars.
Why?
Yeah, story for another day. So you said Kenya superseded your expectations. How so?
Yeah, so when I was abroad, it was really hard to make it. Like, I never made it.
Why?
I never even cracked like the surface.
Even in your region,
let me tell you. So now I'm in this place called Wichita, Kansas. This is like Ushago.
Indio wakikosa kutoshea Kisii wanahamia Kansas.
Mnahamia huko mtapatana. In fact, you'll meet your cousin walking down the road. I promise. And that's not even a joke. That's reality. I have met Wichita, Minnesota. You know, Massachusetts. You know that one.
Oh my God.
Those are the ones. Kansas. Now that's me. See, I'm in Kansas, Wichita. And honestly, I was rapping. I was grinding. I was chucking a song a week or two. My YouTube was full of skits. Like we were doing skits before even Vine started.
Wow.
Like that. Forget TikTok. Before even Vine started, we had already started doing skits here and there. I tried, and nobody would love it. This is what they would do. You'd go to perform in a club, right? You're jumping, you're gyrating, you're doing all that stuff. Guys are holding their drink like this.
That must hurt.
Do you know that fan? Ule fan wako kabisa, yendako.
Jesus.
And that's all you got.
Bro.
And it's not just me. That was everyone. In fact, everybody who ever made it from that city, like left the city and to pursue somewhere else. So I didn't know what was gonna be in Kenya, because I had such a hard time in the US, like trying to make this music dream work. Now I'm not saying I didn't have some good moments. I definitely had I won some awards.
Oh, wow.
I traveled a little bit. I did some shows in New York, Dallas, Oklahoma, San Francisco. We did a little bit, but it wasn't barely.
You saying were you in a group?
No, I had a manager too.
Yeah,
so like shout out to Shana Hutchins, Maliuko.
Was that a good relationship?
Yeah. We also dated. It's just one of those things. It's true sessions.
Wait,
it's true sessions.
Thank you.
Anyway.
Plus also there's no wrong way to do it. But manager, so you're saying it's better to date the manager.
That's just what happened.
Yeah, but
that's just what happened at that time. But yeah, it was dope. It was a good time, but it wasn't doing anything. So when I came to Kenya and everyone was tripping, everyone was like, yo, he bosuku santo kuba. Funny enough, like from the first industry night to even I'd say even to where I am now, like honestly, it hasn't been like the most difficult thing on the planet. It's much easier compared to there, for sure. And it's been what, 4 or 5 years here? 8 years over there. 8 years of trying the same thing and nothing is moving. And honestly, like I don't think I've even given it like 40% of like what my potential is here. So I only know it's only up. It's only up to go.
I like that. I like the fact that you know your potential. I like the fact that you know that you've not even scratched the surface on it. But let's talk about the potential. You know, for the rest of us, you're talking about you haven't scratched the surface. As we're seeing the stuff that you're giving us, after you finished that relationship, you went in. Like you had no holds barred. You were like, I'm going to do exactly what I can to get the music out. Which is that first single after your previous relationship? Because I remember even you had to change your social media accounts. You know, Steph used to have an account called Steph Kapela. Now he's I Am Kapela.
I had to start everything over again. Everything. A new YouTube page. Knew everything.
Yeah. Which is that song that you released, the first one that made you go like, "Whoa, I'm back"?
I'm really trying to figure that out. Like, I'm really trying to think. The problem with me and Ivan is we recorded a whole bunch. Like, we spent like 6 months just back to back. I'd sleep in the studio. I'd come back the next after 2 days or so. But the very next song I did, I don't know, but I know Exposure was pretty big. Exposure was pretty big, and I think it gave us a good look. But even before that, we had done Too Easy, and I think everything adds on to the next one. I don't think like Too Easy and I Am Kapela might have like lower views, but without those, even Exposure wouldn't have worked the way it did.
And you had a formula of releasing this particular, like you at this point you had a formula like, I'm gonna do a song, then I'm gonna release the video. What was your formula at that time?
None. It was just me and Ivan kind of work off of vibes. A lot of times we used to work off of vibes. It wasn't until like Emily, shout out to Emily Awino, before she came into like whatever, that we really started trying to strategize in terms of like having deadlines and we just work off vibes. If we're feeling it, we're loving the song, we're loving the way it's whatever, let's shoot something for it. And even when we shoot something, do we love the video? Do we want to shoot something else? Whatever. It just used to kind of flow. It just kind of used to flow. But when we were now approaching Viki Secrets and stuff like that, that's when we really started thinking about structure. Exposure.
Because you had a lot of things to say in that song. You had a lot to get off your chest.
Little bit.
And it's crazy. The song is called Exposure because you're like talking about usinilipe exposure. You know, and that song really gave you a lot of exposure. It's crazy.
And even radio play. Universe.
even radio play.
Yeah.
I mean, that song was like everywhere. Even in stations that at that point weren't really playing KE hip hop. They were playing it. I don't want to mention them, but they were. That's how you know, okay, this song has crossover appeal.
Books, true sessions, come on now.
What happened after that song? Hapana, mimi nafanyia station zingine.
Okay, sawa.
While you were, you recorded, we clearly know what you're trying to say. But after that, the momentum must have been different.
It was. Exposure did some wonders for us. It gave us quite a bit of momentum, like heading into this was what, 2019, and literally like right after that, that's when Kali Cartel 2 happened, which took us higher, Kidogo. Then after that, Too Easy, which was also great. We dropped the EP after that, and then we kind of went silent for a while and went back into recording again, and that's when we came out with Viki Secrets later.
We're going to talk about that. You keep saying we. Now, a lot of artists who've been on this platform or that I have interviewed say management is one thing in this country. Wewe umetoka stato, ulikuwa kwanza una nini na manager, alafu ukakuja Kenya, ukapata mwingine, hiyo relationship ikaisha, ukapata mwingine. How do you strike, how would you advise an artist to strike a relationship with a team? Like, you know, or even a producer. There are artists who don't even know how to get, unachukua tu 20k yako
Right.
lazima kunikisivi something mwaze.
Lazima hiyo fanyia
Unaingia kwa studio unapata na mtu mwingine hata ni fundi wa mitambo. Si producer. You know, ni piano man venye nani alisema Timbaland. You're just a piano man. Maze umepata 20k yako. So
ndio uko nao peke yake.
What would you tell an artist? From your tips, how would you know? Because clearly you seem to know how to pick them. Number
one, don't be in a rush to get a manager. Like, just don't be in a rush to get a manager. Like, as an artist, you there's no rush.
Yeah.
There's no rush for you to be managed. What you need to worry about is your content, your music. Like, you make the music. You focus on making the music. Focus on making the music videos. They'll come. They'll come. I'll tell you this. Not even one manager that I've ever had was it a situation of where I went looking for them. Not even one. Even with Atwal, like when I was looking for Atwal, I was looking for a producer, somebody who made beats.
Yeah.
He ended up like make like a whole label. He ended up like creating a whole label, and he had a manager within who became now my manager.
That was all around you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, at that time.
Yeah.
But apart from that, like even the manager that I'm working with now, it was a situation where it was just set up. Like, shout out to Mudhoni, drama queen. She was the one who kind of like set that up. Don't be in a rush.
Yeah.
Don't be in a rush. Like, you focus on the music, because trust me, like when managers come in the game changes. The game changes because they come with a skill set that you don't have.
Yeah.
They come with strategies. They come with deadlines. They come with paperwork. They come with all these things that you don't even know, and you don't even know where to begin. And now all of a sudden, like, you're no longer working with the flow. Now you're working with restrictions. And not that the restrictions are bad, but they do change how your creativity comes out. They do change how your venye ukaweka msanii, venye unajieka. Like, all that changes, like how you dress, everything completely changes when you start.
Lakini lazima unajua msanii lazima kuwa na manager. Basi ukiwa kuna msanii saa zingine hata industry night. Ilikuwa inabidi na wengine lazima ni wasomee. Nakwambia ukuje at this time. Why? Because an artist anataka achiluko kwa moti, achilukwa nyumba akiwasha akishashashe. Akifika kwa performance hata macho zake hata haoni hata audience.
Growing up, that's all we saw on TV.
Yeah, but like that's fuck the only showbiz, bro.
But we didn't know though. Like, who was there to tell us, like, okay, bro, like what you're watching on TV,
it's
this
showbiz,
is just for show,
bro.
This is just for show. You used to see the rappers with the ladies and the cars, and they're just chilling and smoking and kicking back and just being in the hood and trying to shuka nywele.
But akokwa set at 4 a.m. and a shoot all the way hadi 4 p.m.
That dude never said that. He never came and said, hey guys, najua mnanipenda, but he never said that. We never knew. So like, as you grow up, and this is something I had to deal with even mentally, because I came to realize that, like, I asked myself, like, why am I doing music? Like, am I doing music for fame? Am I doing music to create something new? Am I doing music for money? What am I doing music for? Like, why? What's my why when it comes to music? And honestly, unakuja kupata kuna vitu mingi sana, like, it's not why you are here.
Yeah.
It is not why you're here. And the way I wanted fame, what I thought fame was when I was growing up, it's not why I'm here.
What were you thinking initially?
Bro,
girls.
Man. Of course. Of course. And not just one, like, at a time.
Yeah.
You get, like kai kwa hii kiti tunafaa kuwakaa watatu, nafaa kuwa katikati, kuna mwingine hapa, you know, because that's what rappers did.
Yeah.
Rappers used to chill. Rappers used to kick it. They used to, like, have a great time.
You know, it's interesting you say that. When we're doing industry night, what we realize is that who artists when amekuja the ladies, right? Who's trying to make it, you know, they have that hit song and that, you know, they're like, wow, you know, this bitch should love me now. And there's no bitches. Bro, next year we'll afanye mziki.
Yeah.
Like, straight up, like there's no music getting done.
One of the best lessons that Kwambox taught me, first industry night, nilikuja solo. I'm there. I don't know if you and Koi are still friends.
Yeah.
Koi was like, okay, so, like, you have your music, you have your name. I'm like, yeah. You know me, I'm professional. I'm like, cool. guys are going out performing. I remember I was performing with Jeezy that night. That night Jeezy was the one who was like closing or something.
Oh man, Jeezy.
Yeah, bro. Man,
shout out to Jeezy, man.
So I'm like I'm ready. Like mpaka nimefungwa shati. I had this like a nice silk whatever. Nimefungwa sijui mpaka up. I've been in the gym. I'm feeling like it's gonna be a good show. Nobody paid attention. Nobody else. And then we had a conversation. Yeah. And then of course Mbox instructed me on the ways. And the next time, ilikuja la rende.
That's what's up. You can't do commercial music if you don't have a squad.
I came with a whole squad, and all of a sudden the entire performance changed, and I was like, you know what? Thank you for that.
Yeah,
thank you for that.
And even the cliques that like even artists who walk around with like squad. For example, like let's talk about Jay-Z, right? That's for sure, but like he would be isolated to be able to get his private time, even at a concert. But then do remember there are other artists who'd prefer to just be like, you know, there are people who are supposed to be there drinking and partying on your behalf.
Yeah,
so
and your squad is not necessarily
Steph is here.
Yeah, your squad is not even necessarily like people now you have to like kick it with before you perform. No, your squad can literally be your fans.
Yes.
Invite your fans. Yes. Invite them personally. Yes. Like call them, text them, DM them, be like, yo, kujeni tupatane. When you get there, salimia kila mtu, go into your space.
Absolutely.
Relax, get yourself ready for the show. After the show, come back and kick it with them.
Man. Good old days. I miss Industry Night. I gotta be honest. I miss. I mean, a lot. It's coming back. Now let's talk about 2020. You know, umemaliza hapo, umetupata exposure, umefanya makali cartel, watu wanasema, oh, there's this new guy called Steph. I'm like, new guy tena.
Tuko wengi.
New guy.
Tunashinga tu tukikuja.
Yeah, but I like what you said. It takes time. Like it's every break that you place creates a staircase for you to keep ascending. Amen, you know. That, yep. 2020, you actually late 2019, you gave us an album. Was it 19 or 2020?
2020 May. We're coming up on the anniversary in just a
what is the name of the album?
Viki Secrets.
Viki Secrets.
Yeah.
Sasa Steph, ebu tuambie what informed an EP, an album?
More or less, remember I was gonna drop a double album. I was gonna have like more like a his and hers type of album. Yeah. The hers part was more for like, it was lovey-dovey. It was describing a relationship. A relationship from the beginning, from the onset all the way down to a breakup. Yeah. Then the Prodigal African side was supposed to have now the more hardcore, the raps, you know, like now for the wale majama upenda. Steph the rapper. I was even a goal rapper, so like like they'd have their thing. This is so funny. You know, there's Steph the rapper and then there's Kapela the rapper.
There's
another Kapela as well.
Yes. Who's called Kapela the rapper?
No.
I was going to name a choker and get someone changing Magina, man.
Yeah, so but we ended up dropping only Viki Secrets because of COVID and everything else.
Yeah. So Prodigal African Son is still somewhere there.
Prodigal African, yeah, it's still in the chambers.
Are you talking about you coming back to Africa?
Part of it, yeah. Part of it, yeah. It includes that. I started calling myself Prodigal African way before I even came back. Way before I even knew I was gonna come back. But it ended up like self-fulfilling, which that's why these days, like, I really am very careful about the things I say. Especially like things that I really believe in, and like
manifestation. So Steph the rapper aliniambia manifestation meets you on the way. You understand? Like the way, the same things. Munafaa kufanya ngoma pamoja, by the way. I'm just saying.
So we'll call it Steph by 2. Itakuwa Steph.
Itatoto Steph Kapela.
Steph Kapela.
I got you.
That's
so Viki Secrets suddenly drop. Response ilikuwaje?
It was good. It was good. Very unexpected.
Were people anticipating an album?
Yeah. I'd been saying for a long time I was gonna drop an album. So yeah, everybody was ready for an album. However, Viki Secrets could have done better if we had short videos for it. But again, this is the height of pandemic. Things have changed. Even the plans of actually shooting, we came as close as everything is ready, and then the day of shooting hatuwezi fanya because of whatever. So it could have performed better if it had videos, but it performed very well. It reached on number two even on the what was it, Kenyan iTunes charts.
Nice.
So it did pretty good.
How have you had to re-strategize, plans to still stay afloat during these COVID times musically? Because you said you spend time in the studio.
Yeah, I took a break though.
Yeah.
I took a break. I actually just decided after we dropped Viki Secrets, maybe 2 months in, after now I'm done doing all the press and pushing it. I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna take a break from music for a second and just kind of ask myself what I'm doing, because again, this is the height of the pandemic. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing. So I just decided I'm off music for a while now. Acha niingie biashara niangalie kunaendaje.
Na gym. Na umsema gym.
Na gym kiasi.
Zero na msimunyo gym ka. Ile consistent. Okay, nimeona lakini.
Usiwaambie sana. Guys will start looking for signs.
No, you need to
I look like I work out and I don't have those signs.
Tell them why you started working out. Tell them. Tell them.
The first time I walked in a gym, I was 22. I'm 36 now.
Yeah.
So do the math. It's been a minute. But it's been on and off.
Yeah. So unajua wase umeona watu wenye ukwanga squeeze wazee wamenona. Also walikuwa wanacheza rugby.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, so okay, that's why I don't go to the gym. Sitaki kwa reform. Niende gym alafu sasa you fall apart.
Always fall apart. Uta maintain.
Something gonna maintenance venye iko tu. So acha nayo.
Okay, sawa tu.
Tuna fine tune to
ni sawa tu.
Oil change.
Tunaongojea tu. Mkishafika 30s kwenda huko juu, ndio mtajua maisha ni different huko juu.
Niko tu karibu hapo na wewe. Niko tu hapo, right next door. When we talk about, why I'm asking about you said business. I've seen artists drowning during these COVID times. Yeah. And especially, let's talk mental health for an artist. How important, because I've seen you working out, but what do you do to stay? Have you ever been affected by, all these things in the industry, the fame, how, mental health, how do you stay afloat?
Working out helps.
Yeah.
For one, it gives you something to focus on, and then once ukishako consistent now, it becomes an addiction almost. But it's also a metaphor for life. For me, what working out does for me more than anything else is not even kujenga mwili. It's just the realization that no matter how many weights I lift today, I can lift the heaviest I've ever lifted, for the most amount of reps I've ever done today. And tomorrow nikiangalia kwa kio, I'll still be the same. No matter what. But it's the consistent effort of doing that over time that actually gives you results. So it gives me a metaphor for life, that no matter what I'm doing today, no matter how hard I'm going at it or soft I'm going at it, it's not meant to make a world of difference by kesho. It's kitu pole pole.
Yeah.
So that's helped me a lot, but also just friends, just having some real ones around you, people you can talk to, And honestly, I talk to Ivan a lot. I talk to my girl, of course, a lot. Kujifungua it's very helpful.
Ni muhimu. Ni muhimu. Na unajua lazima madem naelewa dem hata kabla hajafunguka atafunguka, lakini machali
Sorry, I don't know why my high school self came out there.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you, for me, mental health is so important because I also struggle, with anxiety. Sometimes, when you're in the limelight, and crazy, funny enough, when everything is going too well.
Yeah.
That's for me when there's actual downers, So, but then when I look at my male counterparts, is when I'm like, who's this guy talking to? You need to talk to somebody, And I'm grateful that you mentioned that you talk to someone.
Yeah, and you have to have friends, and for men, mostly for men, ukikuwa na beshte ule unaweza ongelesha lakini akuongeleshangi back. That kind of sends a red flag too. You feel like you're being over vulnerable with someone. So you have to look for real ones, guys who are not scared to be vulnerable with you. But also you have to look for people who are not just looking to drain your energy.
Yeah.
Those people who wanasemanga nini, misery loves company. trauma-based friendships. You know, like where
Me
it's
too.
you know, like let's just talk about how we are all suffering and we are just there's no solutions, there's no nini. Like you have to be very careful. I think it's one of those least things like African men even pay attention to.
Yeah. And can you imagine now, especially in the music scene, you know, like it's rap.
Yeah.
All the content about rap is about being brave. It's about, you know, courage. It's about making it cool, mocha, cool, you know, getting all the girls. When things are not like that, how, you know, that must be able to be a problem. And especially because you've been talking like this, who do you talk to, you know?
Yeah.
So I like that you mentioned that. So, Steph, mziki nalipa?
Mziki nalipa. Is whether nalipa pesa mingi or not, that's a different question.
No. The reason I'm asking this is because, you know, when you're doing an event or you got as an artist when you're starting out, and especially the ones who are starting out, and starting out, your start can be 10 years, it can be 4 years, it can be 3 years, it can be 1 year, depending.
Right.
You know, music haina formula. So unapata msee amerecord labda kuna ameenda hata uko na hit song moja ama well even 5, you know. But is it about having the hit song or about creating some equity presence, right? Because we have had people who have hit songs and can't for the life of them perform.
Yeah. Swali muuliza nini, like especially some of the up and coming artists that I talk to, is I ask them like, ushenda super, yeah, ushenda ukapata kuna msee dem fulani amekapo hivyo na kasample na kuambia onja hiyo angalia, ushajuanga hiyo dem anakupatia hiyo nini, analipwa na mtu na huyo mtu anamlipa kona company of which analipia production, analipia nini, analipia kila kitu kuja kupatia kitu ya free. Like, have you ever asked yourself why they do that? I'm not saying that exposure is like you should go for exposure, but you have to understand as an artist, it's not about the value of your soul. It's about your value in the marketplace. And that's it. Like, if you understand it like that, it's not about the value. Your soul, we can never quantify that.
For sure.
What you create, how you create it, how it sounds, like, we can never quantify that. What we can quantify is your position in the marketplace. And if you're if you're in a position where you're just beginning, be humble enough to know that you're just beginning. You'll have your day.
Yeah.
You will have your day.
Yeah.
Like, your day will come. You'll have it. But if you're beginning, begin and be humble enough to know that you're still beginning. Mi siezi enda kuchapa show na Sauti Sol, which we've done before, and expect mi nilipwe zile mamita au kula. Unaona? And not even at 10% of that. Unaona? Because I understand mi niko path yangu, like I'm just beginning, I know where I'm going, and I understand it's not about the value of my soul. It's not about how much I value my music or what I do. It's about how the market sees me and how the market sees my music. So cheza kaewe, cheza pole pole, take your time, you'll have your day.
Yeah. And I like that you said that it's not about the value that, you know, you think that you have. It's the value that you're giving the market. And if you can be able to quantify the value that you give your market, then you can be able to ask for whatever the hell you feel like you ask.
And that's when you make your red card at whatever price you want, because now you know you can back up, like whatever.
And just a note, even if this is not a time conscientious thing, it's not after 7 years now I start asking, or after 1 year, after 2 years, there are some people who can pack in all that value in 3 months. TikTok inaweza kusaidia hapo mazee. The next thing, your value is invaluable, you know? And you just have one song which you recorded maybe even a year ago. You'd even forgotten about it. That's the only song. Now it even sends you back into the studio to record. But I feel like you should always just be prepared.
Isn't like Aziad is like the perfect example of that. Like, I feel like she's been doing TikTok for how long before that one dance video like actually like skyrocketed her, and now she's the Aziad that we all know. But before that, she was still grinding. She was still the same person. So it's not about your value as the way unajiona kwa kio. It's about how like the market receives you, and when the market receives you. And I think that's been something that's kept me grounded. It's kept me grounded. I've never figured mali me feel ni kama lakini pia ukiniambia utanipatia pesa ingine ile I don't feel like it's worth what I've created now and what I've been able to build like in terms of brand, pia hiyo nakata.
And it's important not everybody will, you know, especially when something is good. Usijitembeze. Just do the marketing, just do the structure, follow the structure, and just make it happen.
True.
Now, you know, 2021 is here. I'm seeing you're back to your.
We are 5 months deep already.
Deep, man. Yeah, and things have opened.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So are we gonna see you in action?
Yeah. I mean, I've been in studio. We've been recording. We've been shooting some videos. Now it's just a matter of like figuring out what we want to do, because honestly, Pia, like I'm not in a rush of just dumping another project out there.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like looking at the situation and kind of figuring, are we going backwards? Are we moving forwards? Tulikuwa na move forward like 4-5 months ago.
Yeah.
Like the country was reopening and everything, and then Jaden just came and shut everything down again.
You do know our president is called Uhuru Kenyatta.
Who? Is that? Is not Jaden? Jaden is not his name.
I always talk about how Kenyans are just a crazy bunch, but yeah.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, do not come for me, sir. Do not.
Yeah,
man. So
I mean, we'll keep our eyes peeled for this. I want you to look in the camera and talk to that artist. Who, first, I want you to talk to the artist who is probably where you are. Who was where you are when you came back, things are moving, and then everything just went upside down. So
artist
maybe
who is where I am.
Upside down. And then number
upside
2,
down.
I want to talk to the fans.
So artist who's where I am.
Where were you are upside down 3 years ago?
So artist who is upside down 2 years ago. Is that right? There's that no, that didn't sound right. Okay. I'm messing up. No, honestly, like kauko hapo hivyo, jiamini tu, like understand that things come in phases. As a human being, and especially like as a guy who's a little bit older now, and like I can reflect back and then look through my 20s and whatnot. Phases, things come, things go. Believe me, you can have everything you want today, and I'm not saying you lose it all tomorrow, but tomorrow you can value something else so much greater than what you even wanted before. Doesn't mean anything. These things come, these things go. What actually matters is what you learn along the way, and that's what makes you who you are. Kwa sababu all the accolades, all the hit songs or whatever, like it's the race to the top never ends, and when you get there, you'll keep racing to stay there. So you might as well learn a thing or two so you know how to maintain when you're there. Cheza ka wewe, satu cheze pole, cheza aggressively, but cheza ka wewe. There's no rush. And as for my fans, nawapenda, I got great music coming, and then mwambia mabeshte yenu na mabeshte mwambia makuzo wao na makuzo mwambia maparo wao wakuje wote. We got great things coming up.
I love
you guys.
Sisi tumesema kuna vitu great, si tupatie sample. Allah.
Mbona kunaenda ngaje?
Niki interview politician lazima wacheka kiro. Niki interview daktari lazima nifanye stethoscope. Niki interview rapper lazima rap.
Let me see. So mlisema naweza cuss. So
yeah, do your thing.
Alright. I'll just give you a short line, Niggas ain't gon' shoot for real. Ndajishughulikia. Kama na bonga mavi ni juu ya shit nimesikia. Wale wandani kama kwari wanakuaribia. You need a real one. Akikwama bado anakuaminia. Bado anakuamilia. Mbogi ni leo na kesho ni ghost. Dem wakando wako ma feelings anadai kesho ni post.
Hey, I'm excited. This is 2021
That's part of a
stuff.
song and it's coming. Wait for it.
Jesus. You know where you had it first. Thank you so much for coming through. In fact, on that note,
anytime.
Cheers, Master. Hey. Did you come? In fact, on that note, bye. Wait for the next episode. Hey, True Sessions powered by Valentine's. Damn.